Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taking things out of context.
Out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
In the context.
We have more context.
Out of context.
Taken out of context.
That is so out of context.
And take shit out of context.
Out of context.
Deeply out of context.
You're taking it out of context.
No, hey, hold on. So we're going to flesh this out because I don't want nobody saying we don't take things in context.
It's hard for your words to be taken out of context.
The full context.
In a modern day context.
Tell me the context.
Another important reminder as to why context is so important. So,
welcome back to Straight Out of Context. I'm Barbara Ann, and I am so glad you are here with me today. Fair use disclaimer and free speech disclaimer.
Out of context
has more context than just the regular standard
creator.
I don't care.
I know.
I don't know why I bother people so much. Like, all I'm doing is just talking about what I'm watching on Netflix. Through my life, yes, she taught me how to be a good liar. A very good liar without any conscience.
This is actually kind of the first time I've been honest. Besides being honest, my attorneys. Even that, I haven't been completely honest with them. So.
Okay, it's time for Gypsy Trivia. Can anybody tell me how many wigs are in the drawer? I'd like to take wigs for 105. This woman killed her mother for dick and then lied about it all. Who is Gypsy Rose Blanchard? No, but seriously, how many wigs are there? It looks like at least 6 in one area of the drawer, not including the others, and the ones that were with her that she took to Nick's house. This would have been a phenomenal trivia question if I knew exactly how many she really had. Not just these ones that she left at the crime scene, but also all of the long, darker ones that she took with her. But anyway, I'm just being funny. I want you to see this clip of a live that Renelle Smith captured of Ryan Anderson. He's clearly playing on your sympathy and your pity. But you know what? I think that this hand has been overplayed, Ryan. The fact that so many women are still supporting him, and he has the audacity to say that he's going to go to WrestleMania if he can get his funds up, meaning hint, hint, I need more gifts. No, what people need to do is collectively starve him of any and all attention. Help encourage, nurture, and enable him to do something good and positive and proactive with his life. The same thing with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Able-bodied, according to her, perfectly healthy, according to her, yet will do absolutely anything other than work a real job. And I really do believe that that is 95% of the reason why she manipulates men. She manipulates them romantically into being her provider, taking the responsibility that Dee Dee had for so long. But this clip that I'm going to show you, definitely go watch the entire live over on Renelle's channel, because Ryan blocked me and I can't capture them anymore. I told him, Ryan, stop grifting off of these women. Leave them alone. Don't sit there and bait them by, I'll say your name, I'll follow you back, I'll send you a message. He goes, straight out of context. That's it. You're blocked. It's like the lady over on TikTok that goes by the name Cooks. He finally did the same thing to her. That's it, Cooks. What are you doing back in here? I'm blocking you. It was so hilarious because he was on live the other night with Dustin Tyler. And if somebody has you blocked, but they do a battle with somebody else and that other somebody else doesn't have you blocked, you can see what the person who has you blocked is doing on that battle. Only during the battle, though. And she ended up going in there. I can't. She ended up going in there in the chat and was like, hey, Dustin, talking to Dustin Tyler, was like, hey, Dustin, tell Ryan Cook says hi. And he actually told Ryan. Ryan's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. He was trying to play it off. But this, I mean, it is funny when Ryan is lightly trolled, okay? That is funny. No harm in the humor. But this whole crying bullshit, can't get over it bullshit, so much so that AI is automatically turning on and telling him, dude, get out. I can't. Even his own phone and AI has had enough of his fucking grifting. Anyway, take a listen to this. And if you want to see the whole live, which I highly suggest you go do, go over to Renelle Smith and watch it in its entirety. And thank you to her for this clip.
Mesmerized, I did. And I'm never going to say I didn't. Like, I did. I did. You know? And I'm okay with that. Yeah, Veronica, it is. The unknown's always unsettling. Unknown's always unsettling. Ellie, thank you for that. Queen Bee, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I did what? I truly loved my ex-wife. That's what Mesmerized said. Truly did. Sean, I wasn't scammed by her. I wasn't scammed. You know, I didn't feel hoodwinked. You know what I mean? I know Lisa and Dave. I get it. You know, I'm not going to lie. I saw a video of us when we had just got Pixie. And I saw this last night. And I'm just going to be honest. It hurt to see. It really, really, really hurt me to see. Damn, I don't want to get emotional about it. I really don't. It was like a Lifetime clip. And we were telling people, like, thank you for Lifetime being part of our lives. And I was holding Pixie. It was like a promo clip. I was doing something on my phone. I was looking for a document. I was doing something. And that popped up as like saved in my Google Drive. And I saw it and I watched it. And I watched it a couple times and I was like, damn, that's what we look like. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. That was very hard to watch. And it's been a long time. So it's what it is. I shouldn't be this upset about it, but I was. And I'm just human. I'm just being honest. I'm trying not to lose it. I'm trying not to think about it. But it sucked. It sucked. It's what it is. Oh, thanks, Ellie. Michael, I did give her grace. I did. Michael, I did give her a lot of grace. Yeah. So, this is what it is, guys. The video was us. The video was us. We were sitting on our couch. I had Pixie in my arms, and it was just us together. All right, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, it's done. All right. Get in a good mood, Ron. Get in a good mood. Get in a good mood. All right. My bad. Charming lady, go to therapy. You think I'm not in it? You think I don't have somebody I talk to? Okay. Kind of presumptuous of you to think that. So, anyway. Hey, Shauna, I have a chance to go. I'm thinking of going to WrestleMania next month, too. Honestly. Got to get my funds up, though. Like, if I get my funds up, I'll be in Mania. Yeah, I just had a moment, and people are going to clip it, and people are going to say that's all I talk about, and it's not. You know, it sucks. Like, people are going to clip it, and then I'm going to have to hear more hate, you know, and get more activity in my activity box where people are like, oh, look, Ryan's still in love with his ex. I'm always going to be in love with that girl that I fell in love with, you know, but it's what it is. All right, gang. I'm getting off. I'm going to bed. I can't read comments right now. I'm all right. Please know I'm good. Please know I'm good. Like, when I get off here, I'm not going to break down or nothing like that. I'm good. I'll be fine. You know, just had a moment, and then I don't know what come over me. You know, I'm human. I have moments where real shit hits me, you know. Guys, sorry for being emotional earlier. Sorry about that. I do apologize.
Like sacrilegious. I am in no way saying I'm anything like Christ. I try and model Christ. On Sundays, I read my Bible. I try to model the path of Jesus. I really do. But if you think on it, and you just think on it for a second, the Jews crucified Jesus because they didn't believe that he was the Messiah. And if he would have just said, I am not the Messiah, I'm just a mortal man, they wouldn't have crucified him. But he died because he died in his truth. Now let that sit with people.
Yeah, let's just do a little rewinding of time, you know, because it's so fun. I got a couple other clips that I really want to show you or just refresh your memory. But first, I want to show you this. Gypsy's bestie, Bree, who she conveniently has dropped in the last couple months, went on this TikTok creator's video and said she made it all up. Girl, I literally have Gypsy's medical records at my house right now. She did not make it up. To even think that sounds ridiculous. Imagine someone invalidating your whole life experience. Well, if that was the case and you've had them for that long, why haven't you validated that abuse happened? It really would have been that simple. If abuse happened, show it. Show the proof. Show the evidence to that. Because I know we can.
Hi, my love. I wanted to show you something special, something that I haven't showed you before.
Hi, my love. I want to manipulate and gaslight you and show you something special. And that something special is that I've been lying to you for a whole year. But that's nothing because I've been lying to other people and my own mom for 14. Isn't it special that I'm finally telling you a little bit of the truth now? Talk about delusional. She literally talks about running away in 2011 at the age of 19. In 2011, in July, she turned 20. It's not running away when you're 19 and you know you're 19. It's not running away. It's simply going wherever you want to go. She is the only person that is making herself out to be younger than what she is. It's like when she said multiple different times that they extracted all of her teeth, yet they saved 15 of them. That's an oxymoron. Yeah, I don't even know how many times I've gone over the whole teeth thing. She tested negative for all medications, including Tegretol. So how can she cite that medications caused that? No, highly unlikely. It's over 28% of all children before the age of 5 get some kind of bottle rot. Gypsy has always had significant issues with her teeth and her adult teeth. She had over 5 different crowns and caps on her top teeth before she was even 7. She even had to have baby teeth extracted because of the cavities. It's just everything she says is absolute bullshit. But here's your proof. Her own words, not the medical records where patient reports or mother says, because they needed the medical records for the Social Security Administration to reflect her need for disability because she wasn't disabled. But here's the problem. It's not fraud on her mother's part if she does believe her daughter truly is disabled, because her daughter is telling her she is. And her daughter has even said it herself. She kept it secret from her mother. Not that her mother put herself in a wheelchair, that she did. Because like she says in the prison confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she craved her attention, her love, and her affection. She would pet the cat and look at me and snarl. She was jealous of her mother petting their pet cat. That is a fucking sociopath. That is a psychopath. What child, what adult gets jealous over their family pet because it's not even about the pet. She dumped Pixie on Ryan and sat there and acted like she couldn't take her with her. No, she couldn't be fucking bothered to be responsible for the animal. Again, had to dump it and pawn it on somebody else for it to become their lifelong problem. It's all about the attention. I'm telling you, it is dangerous that Ken Urker gives that baby any love and affection because you just know that's when she starts crashing out, doing all this crazy shit online, always seeking attention and validation online. She uses her false sense of celebrity and status, this fake social media status, to barter attention and affection from Ken. But you already know what this video says because I got this video in my Freedom of Information Act request. Other people have gotten them. I'm just going to let her say exactly what she said.
Mainly because I was scared to and I didn't really know how to. So, anyway, this is what I want to show you. I hope you like my dress. But I don't think it's the dress that you're probably excited about right now. So, it's finally nice to show you after all this time. I'm sorry I had to keep it a secret from you for so long, but it's not just you that I'm keeping it a secret from. It's sort of like everybody who knows me. I don't even know how I got started. When I was 6 years old, I went into the hospital for like 6 months, and the doctors told me that I had a seizure in surgery, and I wouldn't be able to walk, that I was paralyzed permanently. And that part, like the part that I had a seizure, was true. In surgery, I had the seizure and I was paralyzed, but what they didn't know is that it was temporary paralysis and not permanent. And by the time I started to get my feeling back in my legs, and I hadn't tried to walk then, but I was too young and I just kept it to myself. And throughout the years, I tried to tell my mom a few times, and I guess I was just afraid of her not loving me as much as she does if I couldn't walk. You know, I didn't want to make her sad or lose any love from her. I guess that's the reason why I kept it a secret from her. And so I just kept it to myself for a long time until 2011, whenever I sort of started rebelling as a teenager and ran away from home. Literally ran away from home and stumbled. Before I ran away, I started trying to walk as much as I could. And I just got enough strength to be able to leave home. Unfortunately, it was the wrong person. And so Mom's kind of in denial in a way. I don't really know, because I guess it would be too hard to explain to all our friends and everything. And one thing I never want to be is like a liar. And believe me, I would like for people to know the truth, but being as it is, I would lose a lot of friends, I think. And I just don't want anybody to hate me, and they would. And so you're the only person that knows besides me and that one other guy, which he's not in my life anymore, so, and we're not even friends anymore, so he doesn't count. So right now you're the only person that knows. And it feels great
feels really, really nice to just have somebody that accepts me, and you accepted me even when you thought that I was in a wheelchair and living my life in a wheelchair. I have to tell everybody that I am. And anyway, it's difficult, but it's freeing and wonderful just to you can accept me, and that's really all I care about is what you see and how you see me and how you feel about me. So I apologize so much for taking so long to tell you. I didn't know how to, so I'm so sorry. And I promise you I have no other secrets. I think I've told you everything about myself. And that's the truth because you know everything about me. You know me physically, emotionally, every which way. So now we can just sort of start fresh on a new page with absolutely no secrets between us. I know you've always been completely honest with me, which I very much appreciate that. It just took me some time to get out a few secrets that were very big skeletons in my closet. So thank you so much for always loving me and adoring me and worshiping me. And I just want you to know that I love and adore and worship you too, my dearest King Charming.
You said in the series you read each line 50 times and were proud of it. I'm confused.
After recording the audio version. I've read every line of this book 50 times. When I got the 200 books to sign, I had already recorded my book in the studio, and I had to read every line over and over because I kept messing up because I'm not a good reader out loud. So yeah, I read every line after recording it. Does common sense compute to you now?
Bree, stop and think about what Gypsy just said. She had to read every line of her book over and over again because she struggles with reading out loud. This was after recording her audiobook. Common sense should tell you that in order to record an audiobook, Gypsy would have had to read her book out loud. If she struggles with reading out loud, wouldn't she have had to have read each line over and over again at the time of the recording? I'd love to hear Gypsy try to talk her way around this one.
Munchausen by proxy is a behavioral and mental disorder by the means of a parent or guardian that they essentially make their child sick to gain sympathy from the public.
So how could she be seeking attention from society when she kept you socially isolated, according to you? Although dozens of eyewitnesses and pictures and videos say otherwise. No, perpetrators of factitious disorder imposed on another typically are obsessed with getting attention from medical staff, hence inducing illnesses to be rushed to the hospital. Munchausen by internet, or Munchausen by proxy by internet, is what they call somebody who is seeking money, attention from the internet, from social media. The way that you can monetize on certain social media apps has brung a different dimension to factitious disorders. But I thought she had a forced childhood, a forced Disney childhood. Dolls, more Disney dolls, baby dolls, handmade paintings, handmade quilts, gifts that people took time and money to make for her, just thrown around like they mean nothing. A baby doll in a car seat, another Disney doll. Yeah, we've seen a couple cases of Munchausen by proxy, or what they call Munchausen by internet, in Australia alone in the last couple of years. Medical child abuse for money, attention online, GoFundMe, disability, ad revenue, gifts, donations. But just because Gypsy wants to believe it's Munchausen by proxy doesn't prove it to be true. If there's evidence that it in fact is, all they have to do is show it. It's that simple. Just show us the real evidence and proof that abuse happened. Because one false allegation of abuse or sexual abuse or domestic violence does more harm to real victims and real survivors. And like I said, the main difference is not invalidating somebody's abuse. Validate that abuse truly occurred, because Gypsy's words saying it happened doesn't mean it did. In fact, her own lies, her own inconsistencies, her own stories, her own narrative has been disproven, debunked, and even compared to other lies that she has said time and time and time again. She's not only not credible in any way, shape, or form, she's been proven to be dishonest more than she has ever been proven to be honest. So you have to work at that conclusion. I don't care if you love her and you support her and you are her best friend. Your bias needs to be set aside and looked at the entirety of everything objectively. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has lied and done nothing but lied. She has been very inconsistent in everything she's ever said. To work off of a conclusion that you already want to believe is true, and then say you have evidence and proof, but never provide it, tells me everything I need to know. Because the evidence and the proof and the case files and the videos and Gypsy's own actions, words, choices, and behaviors prove she wasn't abused by her mom. She was lying to her mom for 14 years. And that her mom wasn't committing all of this fraud. She really thought her daughter, who was born sick, who does have health issues, truly had something wrong with her spine or her muscles. She was doing what anybody would do. She was trying to seek answers for why her daughter wouldn't walk. And until some concrete evidence and proof is shown, the medical records are to be taken with a grain of salt. They are hearsay written by a third party who was not witness to the truth of what was really happening. Also, she lies because in her medical records, it says patient reports from the age of 13 up. And specifically at the age of 15 and 16, patient was reporting to the doctor that she had little feeling from her waist down, which simultaneously is proven true with what Gypsy says in her video to Nick. And there's no talking around that. She cannot explain that away with what I meant in that video. You said what you said. We don't need the truth from her because you're not going to get it. She's going to try to paint her mom as a monster to excuse and condone why she killed her for Dick and try to still paint herself as a victim that she is not. And she's going to hold on for dear life for the morons who still believe her whole narrative, because that is her only claim to fame and the only thing she has. But I thought she just wanted a simple life. She doesn't. She wants to try to play celebrity, play bougie lifestyle, play poor me, I'm a victim, everybody talk about me all the time and give me the attention all the time, while her ex-husband and her best friend's lives have completely crashed and burned. What's Gypsy doing? Buying fake Christian Dior little tote bags, going to concerts, bragging about spending hundreds of dollars at the mall, while Ken slaves away at a blue-collar job.
So I learned about it mostly after I got arrested and was able to do research.
Did you hear that? Gypsy Rose said that she did her research, yet on a live just a couple months ago, she said that she still hasn't had enough time in life because she's been so busy getting divorced, having a baby, that she has been too busy to really do any reading of her medical records or really look into anything. So then why lie to Chris Jericho? But first, I have always said this, and the reason why I know this is because my almost 22-year-old son, my oldest, did in fact do this when he was between the ages of 5 and 9. Kids often pretend they cannot walk or that they have broken legs to express either severe anxiety, navigate intense overwhelm, avoid demands, seek attention, or pampering, care, often stemming from a feeling that their body simply won't cooperate under stress. This behavior is common in children with pathological demand avoidance, PDA, or those managing strong emotions like jealousy, anger, or fear. pathological demand avoidance or intense demand avoidance, when a child's nervous system perceives a command like walk or clean up as a threat to their autonomy. They may experience a genuine freeze response where they feel they physically cannot comply, but it's more psychological than anything. Overwhelm and anxiety. The phrase, "my legs don't work," is often used by children, even when a child is mentally overloaded, exhausted, or stressed by a situation. It is a physical manifestation of a mental too much signal, need for attention or care. When a child feels they are losing attention, such as a sibling is injured and gets more focus, or somebody else, like a family cat, they may mimic the injury to feel equal and secure. My son would do this, not in an extreme way, but he would play with army guys. And of course, stepping on those are horrible. Every time I would ask him to pick up his Legos or his army guys, all of a sudden, his legs didn't work and he couldn't walk. Instead of placating him and saying, "Okay, poor baby's legs don't work. Here, mommy will come pick you up," I told him, "Fine, I'll pick up the toys, but you're not going to get them back for a while." Just like magic, he would help pick them up. Luckily, that was something that he grew out of, but it wasn't uncommon, as I also had a niece who did this between the ages of 6 and 8. Avoidance mechanism. If they do not want to go to a specific place or do an activity, they may feign, malinger an injury as an excuse to avoid it. Doesn't want to do cheerleading, doesn't want to do dance, falls on the floor and acts like their legs are broken. Physical fatigue or minor illness. While often it is behavioral, in some cases, children may have actual muscle pain from a recent virus or a legitimate underlying physical discomfort. A vitamin deficiency, hypermobility. I have a rare genetic connective tissue disease that causes hypermobility. It's a collagen deficiency. I have a severe case of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome type 1 and type 2. You could also have different types of muscular dystrophy, which makes walking difficult. Chromosome disorders, genetic disorders can make muscles hurt, can make walking difficult. And this is such a problem that 3 years ago, there was an entire thread, and this isn't the only one, there's multiple, about somebody asking other parents, does anyone else's child pretend that they can't walk when they don't get their way? This parent goes on to say, "My 5-year-old decided she wanted to ride her scooter to school today because her other classmates have been. And I said no, because we live around the corner and we had a couple of minutes only to get there before being late. She just collapsed on the floor whining. This was outside. It's been raining all morning." I was just like, "Okay, bye," and started walking with my 2-year-old. So then she started acting like she couldn't get up, literally lifting herself up a little, drastically falling back onto the ground. Other parents passed by me with this knowing look on their face. This also happened with my niece, as I said, she's a full adult now, but when she was about 7 years old, same age range, between 5 and 9, me, my sister, and my mom were at the checkout of a Meijer. And you know, that's where they put all of these goodies and candies and umbrellas and magazines, all of it. My niece wanted a rainbow umbrella that was like $30-something. And my sister said, "No, we have umbrellas already at home." My niece, I kid you not, in front of me, my mom, her own mother, laid on the floor at the checkout of Meijer. She not only refused to get up, she was saying that she couldn't walk, that her legs didn't work. My sister's face turned beet red because she wasn't listening to her, and there was a whole line in front of us, a whole line behind us. Me and my sister both had to pick my niece up and put her in one of the carts, to which my sister ended up giving me and my mom the stuff that she was buying, the money, and she said, "Here, I'm taking her out to the car." And so she did. And the whole time, my niece acted like she couldn't get out of the cart, she couldn't get in the car, she couldn't walk, because she was told no over getting a rainbow umbrella from the checkout. And trust me, she talks about this being much, much older now. She even said, yeah, I learned my lesson really quick because mom was like, nope, you don't get to go to the store anymore if you're going to behave that way. But she certainly did it, and she certainly tried. And this comes to mind not only with my oldest son, but with my niece, with experiences of having a lot of other parents say that their children or child, boy or girl, that they all of a sudden couldn't walk. And it's usually between the ages of 5 and 9. They pretend to fall, or they lay themselves on the ground. They pretend that they can't walk. They pretend that their legs don't work. They pretend that they can't move. And the thing with Gypsy is she doesn't tell people this very often, or she's never said it publicly. She has in her prison emails, but she really does have scoliosis of the spine, which is very important. She really does have a chromosome disorder.
A mother will take her child to the hospital and claim these symptoms are happening. They will run tests. They will run surgeries. And if the test results keep on coming back normal and the mother is like firm that something is wrong, that is Munchausen by proxy.
She was allegedly born almost 2 months premature. She was a low birth weight. She was in the 5th percentile for height and weight, which is failure to thrive. Out of every 100 children, she was in the 5th percentile. She had a heart monitor. She had sleep apnea, microcephaly, strabismus of the eye, which has to be treated sometimes multiple times throughout life with surgical intervention. Otherwise, you'll go blind. It's not like a lazy eye. A microdeletion of a chromosome, which is the rare chromosome disorder that she has. She really does have scoliosis. The Valium that she was given in very low doses and low quantities was for her back pain for her scoliosis, which she also complained about in her prison emails. She also has throat issues, swallowing issues, palate issues, teeth issues, hypersalivation, which they tried oral medication, physical therapy, more oral medication, Botox injections before they moved to remove 2 of them. Just 2. She also had GERD. She admits this to Cal Lowry. She had severe acid reflux, which can often be a reason why somebody gets a PEG tube. As I've shown multiple times, that also can have a lot to do with damage to the enamel of teeth. But what I really want you to focus on that clip that I just showed you is that Gypsy Rose talks about mothers and children that are victims of Munchausen by proxy, or mothers, caregivers that have Munchausen by proxy. She doesn't talk about the fact that, yes, it's a caregiver. Yes, it's typically a mom, but that's not all cases. Nowhere does she say herself or her mother. She's telling it as if she's excluding herself from the story about this mother that is a perpetrator of Munchausen by proxy, aka medical child abuse, on her proxy. She really describes it from an outside textbook type of view, which tells you that her cognitive load psychologically, not just consciously and subconsciously, her cognitive load is so great that she forgets to put herself in this story. She's supposed to be the proxy. Her mom was supposed to be a perpetrator of Munchausen syndrome by proxy on her, but that's not how she describes it. She describes it from the outside looking in for what she was told it's supposed to be like, from what she was described to as what Munchausen syndrome by proxy, if that applied to her and her mom in her case, what it would look like. Even if her mother had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, here's the truth. Her mother kept her alive and healthy for 24 years. And even if, and that's a very small if, her mother truly had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, Gypsy likely would not have made it past the age of 10. However, the prognosis rate for somebody surviving their own Munchausen is much higher. But just for playing devil's advocate, if Dee Dee had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, it still doesn't give Gypsy the right to commit first-degree premeditated murder. Because what she did wasn't self-defense. It wasn't manslaughter. It wasn't an accident. She planned for 4.5 years to kill her mom. She attempted murder twice, all on her own. In 2011, when she was 19, turning 20, And she doesn't meet Nick until October of 2012. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was 105 pounds, according to herself, 4 months before the crime on her Facebook data, and about 100 pounds, according to prison records when she was apprehended. In videos, you can see that 4 months prior to the crime, Gypsy Rose was a very healthy weight. She was not skinny or malnourished by any means, but Gypsy was not being medically abused. In fact, she rarely had anything done as far as surgery other than what was medically necessary. And she largely stopped seeing doctors after getting an actual and accurate diagnosis for what was really wrong with her and all of the symptoms of that. But you can tell by looking at her face that she has something genetically wrong with her. There's no doubt that her mother knew this from the moment she was born. But here is the damning truth, that this was not abuse or Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Gypsy Rose did not defend herself. She spent 2 years and 8 months manipulating a third party, one with level 2 autism, into doing it for her. That right there throws out the possibility of self-defense. And let me explain something to you, even if it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, for just playing devil's advocate, like I said. Medical child abuse isn't a reason for her to commit first-degree premeditated homicide, because there was no imminent and immediate threat to her life for it to be classified or be qualified as self-defense. I like to explain it to people like this. Somebody could be a block away, yelling at me, threatening me, but are they an imminent and immediate danger to my physical well-being? No. Somebody's yelling at me, threatening me, and they just suddenly start charging at me. Do I have the right to just kill them? Is that an immediate and imminent threat? If somebody is yelling at you, threatening you, and charging at you with some kind of weapon or force and is actively trying to shoot you or stab you, that is an immediate and imminent threat. And therefore, you do have the right to defend your body, your personal space, your safety, and your life. The law does not qualify one or the other. You can't say somebody medically abused you 14 years earlier, so I now have the right to commit first-degree premeditated homicide against them. That is not an imminent and immediate threat to your life for you to have to defend said life. And Gypsy is just fucking ridiculous. Anybody that believes her, I'm sorry, you're stupid. And at this point, I'm just going to say either you have some kind of guilt or you're either tweaked the fuck out. That's all I got to say. Because I cannot make sense of it otherwise. And we know she's great at manipulating, but why let yourself be manipulated by a murderer? Hello? Why would you believe anything she says when she's done nothing but lie? I just cannot get past that. And that's not just my level of frustration, but that's exactly the kinds of people, time and time again, who do defend and support her. And they always spew out the same inaccurate bullshit. Even though I try to be very patient and teach people with kindness, but I just don't understand. There's no excuse for it today. There's no excuse to believe or defend Gypsy Rose. You're either getting paid, you're either tweaked the fuck out and you're not in the right state of mind, or you're simply harboring some kind of guilt parasocially to this fake story of hers, or you are simply just there for the clout, the attention, the false sense and close proximity to fame, or there's something else you're getting out of it, like the absolute trash that sends nude pictures and videos and love letters to Wade Wilson, knowing that he cold-blooded murdered 2 women, even said that he would do it again if he was free, because he's a narcissist, he's a psychopath. Gypsy is actually worse because she can disguise it with this little 10-year-old girl voice and this small little stature. And I've showed this multiple times. White women are more privileged in the legal justice criminal system than anybody else. That is not, it has anything to do with just race, but it's just a truth. White women get lesser sentences. White women also are less likely to be charged. They are less likely to be caught for their crimes. Like I showed many people before, They let Gypsy Rose Blanchard out, but on September 24th of 24, they put to death an African-American man, Marcellus Williams. But then look at the whole case with the older woman who had stole chicken. She was a senior citizen, and an NFL player even offered to pay back for the chicken. She still got over 9 years, more than what Gypsy Rose Blanchard got for murdering her mom. But there is absolutely nothing about her that fools me. Just because she has the face of somebody who is mentally disabled or has something genetically, chromosomally wrong with them, which she does not make her any safer to society. It doesn't make her any safer to be around. In fact, she's more dangerous than ever before because she's taught she can get away with it with barely a slap on the wrist. First-degree premeditated murder in a death penalty state. She only had to serve 8.5 years behind bars. What else would you call that? To me, mitigating circumstances don't matter because first-degree murder is first-degree murder. It's that simple. And who in the hell is believing Mike Stanfield and Dan Patterson after the corruption we all know happened there? Nobody and their mama, that's who. I know I ain't. But like I said, if anybody has the definitive, concrete evidence and proof in this case that Gypsy was abused and her mom had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, feel free to present it. Feel free to prove me wrong because her cognitive load can't even take her own lies. Her little Freudian slip, removing herself from being a real proxy because she knows it's not. No matter how good you are at lying, your brain can never keep up, even if you're a psychopath or a sociopath. Your brain cannot keep up, and there will be little slips. When they say that people like Gypsy always tell on themselves, because they do. Just look at her face. Even she doesn't believe herself because she knows her damn self is lying.
In my medical records, everything that is stated is talking about how the mother said this. The mother told, gave history and physical and all these kind of documentations.
First of all, lie, because at 13 and 16, it says patient reports throughout her medical records. And yes, even her dental stuff. She herself was signing for a lot of it, but we'll get to that in a minute.
And they took it as facts.
Well, in her case,
did you see the way she snapped really quick at Ryan when he interrupted? Remember Meghan Markle when her mother interrupted her, speaking to somebody so important? That is the psychopathic, narcissistic, I want to kill you. You do not take attention away from me. You do not interrupt me. Even when it's her own mother. We know she's done it to Harry. But what you just seen Gypsy Rose Blanchard do to Ryan, Meghan Markle did to her own mother. For simply refusing to be a bystander in a conversation her daughter was trying to overtake and control. And asking a question. Meghan cannot stand the fact that her own mother took the spotlight and the conversation away from her. Gypsy just did the same exact head snap.
So like natural disasters worked against my wife.
Even though she decided to leave him not even a whole 50 days after being really married in the real world. That is cringe as fuck when he's like, it worked against my wife. One thing I will defend her on is that Gypsy Rose Blanchard did not have control over Hurricane Katrina. And yes, it really did devastate their apartment. Yes, doctors, hospitals, medical facilities also did have damages to their systems, to their records. And we know from Gypsy Rose Blanchard's medical records around 2007, her mother signs a consent form to get all of the Louisiana records from every doctor and hospital. Not for herself. It was an authorization going back over 5 years for Gypsy. Why would she do that if it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy? Because that right there would get her caught. But again, she was being honest and transparent with Gypsy's records. And it's also weird that Gypsy had a doctor that followed her most of her life, but yet she claims her mother was doctor shopping. She forgets to mention that. She also forgets to mention how the different doctors she was seeing were for different specialties like neurology, dental, a regular pediatrician, which can see children sometimes over the age of 21. She is just so full of shit. That's all I gotta say. But Ryan saying The Hurricane Katrina worked against my wife. My wife. Dude, you don't have a wife. Get over it. She left you. She had a baby on you. She cheated on you. She divorced you. But in all honesty, what he just said is so ignorant, because it's not like a 13 or 14-year-old Gypsy has control over Hurricane Katrina. It really happened. Dee Dee didn't have control over Hurricane Katrina. It really happened. Yeah, it's not necessarily a good thing, big natural disasters like earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes. It typically does work against somebody, especially when they've already been playing fake paralyzed, mentally disabled child in a wheelchair for a few years and still haven't told their mom the truth, because she liked the attention of her mom taking care of her and lifting her and changing her and treating her like a baby. She got comfort from that. She got comfort from her mom constantly babying her, pushing her around, until she suddenly didn't. The fact is that Gypsy really does have a lot of medical issues. You can tell by looking at her. Her own aunt nicknamed her Possum from the time she was born because of it. The difference is that when she fell on the ground and feigned and malingered and had Munchausen and pretended like she couldn't walk and her legs were broken, her mother didn't respond the same way that some parents do. And there is a strong likelihood, as I've already read to you, that Gypsy really did have something else going on. Putting her in a wheelchair, Gypsy did that herself. If she refused to walk or stand and her legs were broken, how else is anybody supposed to get her around? Especially as she grows. Ryan is so cringe. He's still saying, my wife, my wife, my wife. You don't have a wife anymore. She wasn't even your wife when this was recorded. She was already planning on running away with Ken. She was just waiting and biding her time. And she was already talking to him. She was already plotting her escape. But the worst thing he did was interrupt her. The way her head snapped. The psychopath head snap.
It was one of those where she would play it to a hill, and when the doctor would get suspicious, she would just move doctors.
Move doctors. That's another
Doctor
big
hop.
red flag.
Then why did one of Gypsy's doctors end up being one of her doctors for the majority of her childhood and adulthood? Why did said doctor end up in the same exact state that her and Dee Dee ended up in? That's not doctor shopping. And going to specialists because you're referred to them is not doctor shopping, especially when they're doing testing and trying to rule out what is really wrong with her. Show me where she was doctor shopping for a different pediatrician or a different primary doctor or a different cardiac doctor or a different neurologist. Show me how she's seen all these different ones. Because usually with the referral system, it doesn't work like that. You can't just go pick 20 different neurologists. Prove to me with doctors, names, address, dates. How did she doctor shop? Give me the proof. Give me the evidence of her doctor shopping.
It's doctor hopping.
Just doctor hop until she got a doctor that would believe everything
would go
she
with
said.
it.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, like, it's just some of the stuff. I mean, shaving your head because claiming that you have cancer. And
it says, Gypsy Rose undergone chemotherapy leading to tooth necrosis. One by one, her healthy teeth were extracted. My mom told my dentist that my teeth were chipping away. So what they did was they decided to extract.
Because my mom told them that I went through chemo. The hospital gave me free dentures because chemotherapy and treatments like that will rot your teeth.
Yet she's still drinking Coke, Dr. Pepper, Red Bull, Pepsi, eating cookies, going to the mall and eating giant cookies. Yet on 5/17/2007, it says Gypsy underwent dental rehab in April of this year. That was a month prior, 2007, had 3 teeth pulled and 13 to 14 cavities repaired. No problems with that anesthetic. And this is not even her slow extraction process, which happened over time. Having 3 teeth pulled out of 28 adult teeth, 32 with your wisdom. It's not having all of your teeth removed. Again, proving that she lied. Her mom can't just go into a dentist when she's an adult and say, pull out all of her teeth. There is a reason why they decided, a medical reason why her doctor, aka her dentist, ethically made that decision. And she was an adult when she got an abundance of her dental work done. As you can see, she had this Hollywood white makeover for her porcelain crowns, her upper partial denture, and her bridge at the bottom. You can see at her top right quadrant, she has 1, 2, 3. Top left quadrant, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bottom left quadrant, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bottom right quadrant, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 15 teeth out of 28 adult teeth minus the 4 wisdom that they saved with crowns. And she's lucky that all of those didn't need root canals. That's how bad they were damaged. Infection, sepsis can lead to encephalitis of the heart. An exposed nerve on the tooth can automatically be an infected tooth and a root canal. And just because she said her mom told dentists that she had chemo, that's not true. Look at her dental records. And yes, this was given because of Fancy Maselli from the Good Wives Network. That is true. 2012, 2013, more dental caries, which is cavities. You can even see Gypsy's x-ray. In 2011, Gypsy was 19, turning 20 that summer. In 2012, she would have been 21. In 2013, 21, 22. She was an adult during these dental rehabs, dental procedures. Even if her mom went in there with her, she had to sign all the consent forms for this. But the crazy part is how much she lies, never thinking that anybody would ever see her medical or dental records. Her mom can go in there with her to any dental appointment and tell a dentist, yeah, her teeth are bad because of chemotherapy. Or Tegretol, which she never took, by the way, because she was always negative for it. A dentist is not going to take into consideration what somebody says. They're going to take into consideration the truth of their examination of your teeth. They're not going to give an adult free dentures just because somebody says she had chemotherapy. And here's conclusive evidence on this. On March 11th of 2015, just 4 months shy of her 24th birthday, she said this on her Facebook. She was mad that somebody exposed Gypsy's secret online life and persona and sexting, hypersexual demon nature by exposing her GoFundMe for medical trips. Hey, this girl doesn't look sick because they found her secret account. She wasn't very quiet. But what did she say? Her friend had no idea about the pain of being poked, prodded, and needles and tubes, and how I lost my hair during chemotherapy. It hurts. Here is the truth with this. Gypsy Rose Blanchard would have known and remembered having chemotherapy. She herself, at 23 years old, just a couple months before her 24th birthday, she is lying and saying that she endured pain and needles and tubes, losing her hair because of chemotherapy. You will remember when you are administered chemotherapy. It's a poison. And the way that they have to administer it to you, that poison, you will never forget. Not only will your medical records reflect that you had chemotherapy, Gypsy would not be able to manipulate anybody by saying, well, my mom told me I did. No, she at 23, almost 24, is on Facebook telling you that she had the experience. She remembers it, having chemotherapy. So where her medical records said that she had lymphoblastoma at the age of 5 and she's been in remission, is that real or is that not real? But why is she at the age of almost 24 lying about remembering chemotherapy? Because trust me, you're not going to have your mom just tell you you had chemo and not remember it. You're going to remember it. At 23, you would have had to sign for it. And she goes on to call this person a hypocrite because she didn't want her mom to know what she was doing and saying online. She also talks about surgery, and because she's a good girl, that she's on 12 different medications and sees 10 different doctors. But you're an adult, and you've been an adult for almost 6 years. Who's doctor shopping? Oh yeah, the fucking kid who couldn't walk, who feigned being able to walk. Her legs are broken. She can't feel her legs. Her legs are just not working. She can't do it. And for 14 years, allowed her mother to seek professional medical help for what in the fuck is wrong with my kid. Took her everywhere except for the place she needed to go. a fucking psychiatrist, and a damn good one, because it is psychological and it was behavioral. But yeah, blame everybody for doctor shopping and all these medications except for herself. Why would she be seeing 10 doctors at the age of 24 and on 12 different medications at the age of 24? Because she would be the one signing for that, consenting for that. She would be the one who is doing all of the paperwork and signing everything at the age of 24. That right there tells you it's not her mom making her do this. She is doing this. She is the one lying. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, your chemotherapy bullshit is not just something you can sit here and blame your mom for saying. It doesn't work that way. Doctors don't work that way. Medicaid insurance does not bill or work that way. And this isn't, mommy told me I had chemotherapy, so I must have. You are explaining that it hurts, that there's needles and tubes and prodding and surgeries and medications and 10 different doctors and surgeries and tests, and that you lost your hair during chemotherapy because you are explaining what you think the process of receiving chemotherapy via IV is like. That's really strange. It's almost like you did experience chemotherapy. At the very least, it's almost like you looked it up to see how it really happens in order to describe it and lie about it. That's not something mom said, but a simple psychological evaluation, a simple brain scan, and a simple lie detector test could solve everything. But the truth and the fact is, we don't need it.
The feeding tube and even what was it that made you lose your teeth?
That was like medications and things like that. My mother would take me to the dentist, and she told them that my teeth were in pain, and so they extracted them.
Yeah, I would imagine that having that many cavities from the time you were 5 and had all of your baby teeth either capped or filled, and then moving on to your adult teeth, having to have dental rehab, 14 cavities repaired, 3 extractions in 2007, again, more dental rehab, more cavities, 2011, again, 2012. This is a lot. Yeah, that would be painful. 2013 also. Yeah, that would be painful. That would not be a lie. Your teeth would be hurting.
Big glasses, and then you had some
I hated those dorky glasses.
I mean, I can just imagine the glasses, and then the teeth were so spaced out, and then when she would say, oh, this child has cancer or whatever, you just look at this poor child, and it's like she was dressing you up to look like that.
The reason why she laughs about the glasses isn't because of her eyesight. She laughs about the glasses because it was a part of her prop. Same as the dresses, the Disney dresses. As you can see, she had multiple pairs of glasses she used as a prop. What you don't understand is that her wheelchair was her damn prop. She tells Nick that.
2, 3. Yeah, not cute, right?
She lies about her mom putting garbage bags, black garbage bags over the windows. It was never garbage bags. She put privacy window clings over 3 of the windows. The rest of the windows in the house, as I've shown you, didn't have any. And why is that? So nobody would see Gypsy inside of the house walking. After Dee Dee found out at 19, she was lying the whole time. But it's also strange she's getting all these wigs, colored contacts for somebody that had eye issues, right? And glasses. Her mom's buying her all these books and baby dolls. But Gypsy is smoking and sexting with men, of which she clearly has bad issues with her throat today. Because she lied a year ago and said that she stopped smoking because of the nicotine residue, but then went to vapes, but then went right back to smoking full-blown cigarettes. Vapes have nicotine in them too, which leaves nicotine residue, which is just as bad. But take a listen to her recent.
I hadn't tried to walk then, but I was too young and I just kept it to myself. And throughout the years, I tried to tell my mom a few times, and I guess I was just afraid of
her not loving me as much as she does if I couldn't walk. You know, I didn't want to make her sad.
Exactly. And, you know, to add on top of it, keeping my own age from me.
That's crazy, yeah.
You know, because when I was little, growing up, we didn't use the numbered candles. Like, that was not a thing in my home.
Okay, right.
That's always been a thing in their home. That's Dee Dee at 3, Gypsy 8. This is Gypsy at 12 years old. This is Gypsy. Looks like 11, and this is Gypsy at what? But no numbered candles or numbers of candles, right? But yet her uncle also does this. But that's not a thing that they do in their family or in their house, right? It's giving grifter. It's giving, I came up with a story to save my own ass from the death penalty and life in prison. I came up with an exceptional, so rare of a story that it didn't even happen because it's made up. It's giving so I can just get out of jail free and blame the rest on Nick. Because you're a demon, lying ass, motherfucking psychopathic, crazy person who's touched and can't tell the truth to save your own damn life. But you certainly would come up with a very elaborate lie to try and save it, to get money, to get freedom, to get a false sense of clout and fame and infamy and notoriety, selling to the mainstream media in 11 years. Over 100 different mainstream media hit pieces, including docuseries after documentary after documentary, after interview after podcast, after red carpet event, after speaking engagement, podcast, interviews, reality shows, second seasons of reality shows, all of it. The only person that has been putting that story out there is Gypsy, and that should raise every red damn flag in your mind. Didn't have numbered candles. She's always known her age. I dare you, take a lie detector test. Get a psychological evaluation and a brain scan. Just prove it. If you're mentally safe and sound and happy and healthy and you're not a psychopath, that'll easily show up. If you're telling the truth, well, it won't come back as inaccurate, inconclusive, or deceptive. Because at this point, over a decade, that's the only thing people should ever want to see from Gypsy Rose. Oh, and I borrowed this from Case Studies because this is funny. And I just really had to share this. So under fair use, take a watch.
I wake up at 6:17 a.m. Not because I have to. The algorithm favors early engagement. The baby is already crying. I let it cry for a few more minutes. Consistency is important in parenting, but engagement metrics are far more important. Watch as I add eyeliner to my soulless dead eyes that watched my mother die. The first thing I do every morning is check my face. Not in the mirror. The mirror is unreliable. I check the front camera. The lighting in here is harsh, but that's why God invented filters. While I'm doing this, the baby continues to cry. Somewhere in the house. I assume it's fine. After contour, I apply foundation, while imagining how to unalive my sister. The baby continues to cry. My gay baby daddy's alarm just went off. Time for work. I will kill again. The mask is slipping. I no longer know who I am.
Sorry, not sorry.
Call a spade, honey. Keep making content.
Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And God bless you all.